We'll call this meeting to order, the first regular meeting of the School Board of Trustees for North Spencer County School Corporation. Superintendent Sneeders has 4 days prior to today provided each of the board members a packet of information in reference to the items on tonight's agenda. This packet is for our review and to have questions or concerns addressed. Are there any questions at this time? At this time, I'd like to call this meeting together with a moment of silence. Our vision is to provide inviting and challenging learning opportunities for everyone. Tonight, we have Katie Strange and Amy Temple will present under positions as licensed clinical social workers for North Spencer County School Corporation. So welcome.
Thank you. Sit. So my name's Amy Temple, for those of you that don't know me. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I have been employed with the school since last year in August. I have 1 academic year and a summer under my belt. My role is a little bit different from Katie's in that I am a corporation employee and I actually travel to all 6 of the schools. I see children, students anywhere from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. And those meetings are one-on-one. And as I said, it's at each of the 6 schools. Elementary students are referred primarily through either the social worker, school counselor, or a principal. Sometimes a teacher will talk to me about a concern and then we will make room for that child on the caseload. Middle and high school students can come from, referrals can come from either the school counselor or the kids can even self-refer if they ask for an OB and want to see me and want to talk with me. I also do see North Spencer staff at the various schools. Those meetings have looked like one-on-one. It has been some crisis intervention in some cases, and then I've had a couple of group meetings where I've met with the entire staff. We unfortunately had a couple of really tragic losses this last year, one of a student and one of we lost a teacher at David Turner. And so I have met with those staff persons, kind of discussed grief and kind of how to process that and things of that nature. So all of it, the whole corporation, I kind of cover all of those. The services being provided: counseling, therapeutic, behavioral, and crisis intervention, psychoeducation, and advocacy. Services are provided, of course, through the academic year. And my contract is longer, so I actually saw some kiddos over the summer break. So that was very different, but also very enlightening, and I think a really positive thing. I got a lot more parent involvement, I felt like, in that, and I also had an opportunity, to see the communities and the way these kiddos are being raised, which sometimes is really helpful when you're trying to work with the kids, problem solve, and see what's kind of going on. I should mention that most of the elementary students that I see are considered tier 3, which means, and we have a system within the schools to try to kind of determine what level of need each child is. The kiddos that I work with are primarily those, like I said, they fall under, they're categorized as tier 3, meaning they need intensive, individualized programs and services to address like an academic, behavioral, or a psychosocial need, social, emotional issue that they have. The services took place last academic year and this year during the academic year, of course, at the school, whether it be where the child is located or the staff person or staff persons are located. Summer meetings, I got pretty creative. I tried really hard. I wanted to really have face-to-face meetings. So I tried really hard to be very accommodating. I met at restaurants, ballparks, libraries, homes, and even some of the schools. Sometimes the parents would bring them to the school, but if they couldn't come to me, I would go to them. Some meetings were also held via phone, FaceTime, and occasionally email if there, for whatever reason, a face-to-face meeting, couldn't be held. Quick data, from 2024-2025 academic year, I had 1,824 meaningful interactions during the academic year with different kids and staff. Summer break, obviously because of travel, and it wasn't the entire summer, it was just several weeks out of summer, 71 different meaningful interactions. And I'm carrying an average of about 54 students on my caseload at a time during the academic year last year. Caseload this year is still kind of fluctuating a little bit. We're kind of still just seeing like who do I still need to be seeing, new people that I can add. So I don't want to speak out of turn or get the cart before the horse, as they say, but it kind of looks like my high school and middle school caseload will probably be a little bit higher this year, so I'm probably gonna have maybe fewer elementary students, so. And then does anybody have a question for me? Because my role looks a little bit different, and Katie's just because she is primarily, well, she's entirely at the high school. Questions?
So each school has their own social, you work with everybody at each individual school
Yes.
as well.
Yes, so Nancy Hanks and David Turner both have social workers, and Amy Priest she is also a social worker, I apologize, and Erica Nix is considered a school counselor, and Bethany Sinkhorn is a school counselor. And then, of course, we have academic or guidance counselors at the high school, and then, of course, Katie and I are the social workers at the high school. At the high school, we focus on kind of the mental health piece. The guidance counselors, not that they can't do some of that counseling, and they do that very much, but they also have to make sure kids get the right classes to graduate. They're in Patriot Academy and make sure they're on track to graduate. They have a very important job. So we hopefully have kind of helped take some of that load off of them, because there is a very significant mental health need within the corporation of that high school. So.
Okay, I'm Katie Strange. I'm a proud graduate of Parish Hills High School, 2006. Best class, I think, come through. But I am part-time, so I work at the high school only Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have a full-time job as a therapist in Jasper, and I also teach at BJC, so I kind of like dabble in a whole lot of social work because I prefer it that way. So I thought it was really important to bring back, and work within my community, very passionate about school social work. So I'm happy I get to serve within Heritage Hills High School. So I work 2 days a week. As I said, I have a caseload of about 23 students that I meet with regularly. And those interactions look different based on the day and based on what's going on with those kids. Sometimes it's very therapeutic, therapy-based, challenging thoughts, challenging their behaviors, empowering them to make different choices in their lives and in their academic careers. Also, we're just like a safe spot to discuss really hard things. So we take a lot of pride in just being a confidential, beautiful office now that it's been renovated, and just somewhere for kids to kind of safely land during the day if they need that outlet. Also available to staff. I've seen several staff members in the high school going through different things in their own personal lives, just again, to be that safe spot for them as well. The things that we mostly see in our kids at the high school, lots of family dynamic issues, some CPS involvement, lots of academic and athletic anxiety and pressure to perform. Got a lot of really smart kids going through some hard things. Depression, often looking like low motivation, maybe some hygiene problems, having those conversations safely. Lots of panic attacks happening in our high school. So we have some ice packs, some fidgets, some cold drinks. We do, they're accessible. Just to kind of get those kids out of fight or flight whenever they come in and they're completely losing it. Some self-harm issues going on, bullying, lots of relationship issues with our teams. So you never really know what you're going to get on a day-to-day basis, but We work really closely with our guidance counselors, Mrs. Temple and Ms. Wilmus, and then along with Mrs. Kress and Mr. Temple. My role looks a little different. I'm highly involved in the clubs, so I sponsor a middle school voice program. So I think you guys heard from Jessica Kincaid recently. So I sponsor, I think we have 9 kids in our club this semester over in the middle school, just hoping to make those connections before those kids transition into the high school next year. And then I'm also the natural helper sponsor. I was a natural helper when I was here at Heritage Hills. It's a huge reason why I became a social worker. So it's pretty cool to give back. You're going to hear from some of my natural helpers here in a second. I'm also trying to get parent connection meetings off the ground. Trying not to take it personal when people don't show up. But as long as we're providing it and trying to get parents more involved, we can, go to sleep happy. So, yes. And I want to introduce 2 of my natural helpers, both seniors over in the high school, Haley Coleman and Becky Hickey, and they're going to tell you a little bit about natural helpers in the high school.
Okay. Like you said, I'm Haley Coleman and I'm a senior and I have been a natural helper for 4 years. I have my natural helper training in this room actually.
I'm Becky Hickey, I'm a senior as well, and I've been a natural helper since the 7th grade. And just to go off of what they said, me and Haley, both of us, have been in their office many times, and this what they do in the school is really awesome. And both of us really try in our academics, and something that most people don't realize is the pressure that comes with that. It's mainly self-inflicted, but they're just really there to help us, and I really appreciate all the work that they do. And then fostering natural helpers. So what natural helpers is some students in the school are more naturally inclined to help others and kind of have that helping skill, like Katie mentioned earlier. And what it does is just help foster them and foster like their empathy and put it into an active mode into where they can help the kids and be a peer and like the same age. Kind of sometimes it's more helpful to talk to a student rather than an adult. So yeah, we're just kind of there to help them and be a safe spot for them.
Yeah, I feel like it also helps whenever we have our monthly meetings. It helps bring up issues that we see in like day-to-day lives, or we don't even recognize that we see it, and then they'll bring up an issue and we're like, oh, that's what's going on in their life. So I feel like that also kind of helps us be more mindful whenever like a student comes up, and it kind of helps you to not just brush them off and be like, oh, they're going through a hard time, but it helps you build those skills to know like what to actually say and not just say like, oh, you'll be fine or something like that. But we do a lot of activities like Rack Week, which is Random Acts of Kindness Week, where we make posters, but then we also have like fun sayings and we give out lollipops too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do like a lollipop activity, so that's pretty fun too.
Yeah.
And we also do retreats. That's one of my favorite parts is the retreats, because you kind of get to go gather for a day with like-minded people and to just learn more on how to better yourselves with some of the skills that they give you, and to also better the people around you so that you're able to actually help and make a difference with the people around you.
And going off that monthly meetings, so what they did was they did a survey with everyone in the school, and it kind of just highlighted the hot spots of what teenagers deal with. Top ones are like academic stress, maybe substance abuse, things like that. And that's what we base our meetings off of. So one meeting might be about relationship violence, and the next month it could be about substance abuse or just different things like that. And it's kind of more zoned into what our community needs, which I think is a cool thing, that we're actually looking at our community specifically and not just, the United States. It's kind of just very specific and very helpful in my opinion. And then, the retreat, we're always getting new people coming in, freshmen coming in, and it's just cool to see that there are kids that really do value their classmates and want to be there to help them. A really cool program to be a part of.
Yeah, it's also cool because it's a ton of different groups. You have kids from theater, from basketball, from kids who don't participate in a lot, and you get to make those connections and you're able to just have those relationships with them. And being able to go off of that survey in our monthly meetings really allows us to have a good impact on the school, because we're actually hitting those topics that the kids have actually voiced anonymously that they're struggling with. So I feel like that's a good impact that they have on the school too. And
Um,
it'll also impact us after graduation because we will be able to just take these skills like to the future colleges and to just not only use them to help others, but to help like ourselves too, because whenever you're constantly helping someone, or not constantly helping someone, but whenever you're always there for other people, sometimes you can lose sight of the things that you need in yourself. And I feel like Katie and all the leaders of the natural helpers have been able to teach us good ways to keep ourselves in a good, positive mindset.
and they also provide really good resources. Sometimes like when people come to you, it's kind of hard not to take on their struggles as your own. But Natural Helpers is really good about giving us information about things in the community, so that we can pass those down to the students and you give them phone numbers they can call, or hotlines, things like that. Well, thank you guys.
So let's open up to the whole high school. Any high school student can come and participate in
Yes.
monthly meetings.
Well, you have to be elected, so what you do, not elected, but I guess there's like a. Voted, yeah, so, survey goes out, I believe it's your freshman year, or.
So we have middle schoolers. Middle school used to participate in this program. We just got they're moving to a different program. So we got the last batch of incoming freshmen that had elected, or like nominated people. So we will actually do like a school-wide election next year. And it's just anonymously, like, who in your friend group do you go to? So you guys, like the Breakfast Club, we have someone from each social group, and then we all come together and we foster those skills as a group. But you're nominated by peers as a helper.
How many students per grade, or does it vary?
It varies. I think we have about 60 kids, freshmen through seniors. I would say about 35 actively participate all the time. But it's usually about, I would say 12 to 15, yeah, per group. Yeah.
So Katie, it sounds like one of the differences between you and Amy is appointment. You have appointments and students are referred to you, and then Katie, you just kind of open door as needed, kids can stop in.
I think I have more, like just open door policy with the office. I do have like those 23 kids on my caseload. I'll pull them at certain times every week or every 2 weeks, depending on what's going on. But she has a much higher caseload, which makes it necessary to have appointments.
But I also have an open door, like, for example, today I got to the high school and immediately walked in and there was an emergency. And so it wasn't a kid that was normally one of mine, but that didn't make any difference. If we still address the need, take care of it. And then of course she, I think normally is the one that kind of interacts with that kiddo, so, she was then given an update. But yeah, I mean, if they come to the door and say they need me, I'm not gonna say, oh, no, I'm sorry, I have an appointment. So that's, you just come on in, have a seat, and then figure it out. So,
Our renovation makes that a lot easier too, because now we have it's like a calm space where we have bean bags and things that someone can actually wait for us if we're in with the student. So it's easier to have open door when we have a room. So thank you for that.
Questions? Thank you guys very much.
Linda, great senior year, thanks for being here tonight. Katie and Amy, thank you very much. People are gonna come to the next meeting, Katie.
I don't know. I might need some therapy if they don't.
I know it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll begin with the roll call. Dave Wonder. Present. Jeff Aldridge. Wayne Brinkman.
Present.
Brittany Giles.
Present?
Jennifer Rich.
Present.
Okay. So at this time, we will suspend the regular meeting for a series of hearings. I will go ahead and open up the bus replacement plan hearing for any patron comments. Okay, we'll need a motion to close that meeting, please.
That motion to close.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, we'll go ahead and now at this time, we will open up the hearing for the capital projects and we'll open the floor for patron comments.
comments, I'll make a motion to close.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And finally, we will open up the hearing for the budget, if there are any patron comments. We'll need a motion to close.
I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. So at this time, we will reopen the public meeting. And we will move on to approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
She's the second. She's second. Jennifer made the motion, she's second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next up on the agenda is the treasurer's report.
So I have the treasurer's report in your folder and on your board materials. Just a couple things. Really one thing, the notice preschool fund, we've been tracking that very closely. And obviously the receipts haven't come in yet, so we're still early in trying to catch up as we've seen before. So that's one. I also have the September comparison of funds. That document is in your folder. It's also online for you to review. And I believe that's all I have for treasurer's report. Are there any questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Up next is consideration of claims.
Claims for this meeting, claims 107,851 through 107,931, totaling $859,248.31. I reviewed the claims. I don't think I missed anybody. I think they're all good in terms of not having to abstain. Any questions?
Just to remind me, Chad, on 107,911, the Exceptional Children's Cooperation, JSNS, that's that co-op that we're part of, correct?
Correct.
Is that annual or is the frequency of that?
That is not annual. I believe that is quarterly. I will double check that.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel considerations, up we have leaves.
We have one request for leave. I recommend you approve this leave as requested.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resignations.
We have one resignation. Assistant football coach at the middle school, Josh Greer, resigns his position due to a promotion at his work. I recommend you approve this resignation as requested.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. and appointments.
We have two appointments, David Turner, Morning Care. Mrs. Henderson has requested that Juliana Pozos be assigned to that position. And then also at the high school, full-time evening custodian, Mr. Wilkerson and Mr. Grunhafer request that Joe Sherman be assigned to that position. We recommend you approve both of these appointments as requested.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. There is no other, so we'll open it for patron comments. No, that's an active. So we'll move on to old business and,
Yeah, have a couple items under old business. We have a transfer from education to operations. If there's any questions, we're happy to answer, but otherwise we request to transfer $83,333 into the operations fund.
I move to approve.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Project updates.
We're really winding down on projects, but today I added this, it's in your folder, it's also in board materials. Just kind of details of what is yet to be done. Basically the two main things to be done yet are the Nancy Hanks and the Lincoln Trail playgrounds. You can see at Nancy Hanks, they're gonna get a little bit of a head start as opposed to Lincoln Trail. That's because of that one pipe issue we talked about a couple of weeks ago. So those things are going to be beginning soon. So if I had to do it, well, I'm not going to do it, I guess. That's how about that. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. On the Christening Elementary School, I know we've been working with the town in terms of utilities and getting those disconnected, and that's going to happen very soon. And then some of the other work that obviously needs to be done to begin after that. So I would guess October, sometime in October for that to hopefully be wrapped up. So if there's any questions on projects, we have to answer them, but otherwise that's just kind of a nutshell version of what's left to be done.
We will move on to new business.
So for new business, I've talked to you before about on this campus, our fire alarm systems are, I wouldn't say they're a place of disrepair, but portions of them are. So unfortunately, when there was a storm a couple weeks ago that came through, kind of put us further behind and had to speed up some things that we needed to do to repair. So basically what we have is from Astro Security, we have two quotes. One is for the CTE building totaling $11,345. That includes fire alarm panel replacement, that includes duct repair, pole alarm work. Middle school's in exactly the same boat, fire alarm panel, duct detectors, pole alarm, or pole alarms. So all those things need to be done. The middle school total is $16,285. It's a total of $27,630 to do this work, which will get us very close to being all caught up and repaired with all our fire alarm system issues. The only lingering issue would be the high school has some things that need to be done, but that is not as timely as the middle school and the CTE. So the high school will come at a later date. But otherwise, I request you approve Astro Security to complete this work for $27,630.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can't find a rhythm tonight,
Aye.
guys.
Motion carried.
The last one under new business is really something you guys have talked about before. This is just a readoption of the verification of residency for membership. So really what this goes to is ADM, annual daily membership of students. We must have in place something that basically tries to make sure that we have proof of residency for kids who go to school. So basically the policy is, it's in your agenda notes, but on the second page, it indicates where we have to adopt or readopt, in our case, readopt a policy to verify ADM residency. So I recommend you approve, that you approve the request to readopt this policy as it has been.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will move to request, and first up is field trips.
Everybody loves field trips this time of year, so there's a lot of field trips there. I do want to talk about a couple. I do think it's kind of neat that all fifth graders in the corporation, the administrators and teachers have been working with the Spencer County Historical Society and kids in North Spencer and South Spencer on the 20, are going to go to Lincoln State Park, Rockport Bluffs, Colonel Jones Home, the Lincoln Pioneer Village. So all students in the corporation will go to that. That's a pretty big undertaking. So that's one I just wanted to emphasize. And I'm very interested about 40 Spanish 3 and 4 students going to the Louisville Zoo. I just kind of want to go to that. So it seems interesting. I don't know if anybody wants to go. Ms. Cruz?
No, thanks.
Good. All right.
I'll go.
But otherwise, I recommend we approve these field trip requests as presented.
I make a motion to approve.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Professional leave.
We have one professional leave. Middle School Guidance Counselor Bethany Sinkhorn requests to attend the Indiana School Counseling Association Annual Conference in Indianapolis on November 20th and 21st of 2025. Recommend you approve that request.
Move to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. There are no use of facilities or others, so we'll move on to superintendent's report.
Just a few items to share tonight. I want to recognize Gibraltar Design, who we've done some work with. They made a $300 donation to our schools. Very nice of them. They do that in the fall conference season. They said that's just something they've always done or they've started to do for the fall conference, just as a thank you for doing business with us, and here's something to help out your students. Santa Claus exterior cleaning. I've talked with Courtney a little bit, Courtney Heber, and they came around and cleaned all of the elementary school playgrounds. They've done this previously. Of course, we have some work to be done in some of the playgrounds, but they worked around that. And they also, I forgot to look today when I was in Christie, but they also did the asphalt out in front of the playground. Since Christie playground is new, it really didn't need to be cleaned. So they did the area in front of the playground, which I thought was very nice of them. So I just wanted to recognize them. And I had shared with you a couple of weeks ago, we had just some traffic issues near Christie Elementary. And it's really kind of everything obviously didn't start the way we wanted to, the way it all happened. But bringing attention to people, the town of Christie, the Spencer County Sheriff's Department has been really positive for me just in seeing the quick feedback, like what can we do to help with this. So I just want to recognize again, the town of Christie and the Spencer County Sheriff's Department for kind of seeing that there's a problem there and offering to try to provide some assistance to help out and make sure, at least bring awareness to the situation. So I believe that's all I have.
All right, we will need a motion for adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will go into executive session. 6:34.
So did you coordinate all of the fifth graders going?
No, but I think that's really cool because we do the fourth grade thing.
Well, I saw your chart and
Oh,
everything, so I
no.
was like, oh, I wonder if they're like